if you're a beer geek, you've definitely heard of the famous smoked beer brewery from Bamberg called Schlenkerla, but you might not have heard of their second famous brewery, which is Keesmann Bräu, and they are famous for their Herren Pils. So Schlenkerla are famous for their really old brewing methods using smoked malts, and that's what draws people to Bamberg. But Bamberg is also famous for beautiful local regional breweries producing really clean, amazing German lagers. And that's what Keesmann is famous for, especially its Herren Pils. So today I'm going to see just what a German Pilsner has to offer you. I've been doing a lot of Munich Helles reviews recently, and they're a more subtle, honeyed kind of lager. Lots of people are big fans of your Czech Pils, which are a kind of combination of bigger bitterness and malty triple decoction complex malt flavors. And Pilsner is from Pilsen in Czechia, and the Germans took that idea of a Pilsner and they refined it down into this much cleaner, much snappier, much crisper lager that we now know as German Pilsner today. And it is a different style to Czech Pils in its own right. And it is an extremely, extremely drinkable beer if you get a good one. The idea is that it is bitter, but not too bitter. It leaves a kind of snap on your tongue and makes you want to immediately take another sip from the glass. And that's what German Pilsner is famous for. It's quite dry. It's very, very inviting, thirst quenching, and has a lot going on for it in terms of hop bitterness. So let's see how Keesmann from Bamberg, their Herren Pils, performs in the German Pilsner category. All right, first up, it is a very, very light golden straw color and a beautiful, thick white head on it. Really nice looking beer, slight haze to it. Give it a smell. Yeah, it just smells really, really bright and fresh. A little bit spicy and herbal going on the hop notes. And then this kind of cracker biscuit malt aroma is coming. It smells quite dry. There's not much sweetness at all on this. It smells really, really thirst quenching. Like I can imagine if I sat down on a hot day and this was presented to me, I would be like, get that down me quick. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really nice beer. Let's see. Yeah, man. Oh, true to style, mate. It makes you go for the second one immediately. Really, really nice. You are presented with the classic German Pilsner snap tang on your tongue. It really does hit you. It is a combination of the carbonation, a slight lower pH acidity that German lagers are famous for, and a high IBU for a lager, the Pilsner level of IBU, and it snaps you with a bitterness and a really dry mouthfeel. And the whole thing combines to just something that is quite punchy, but beautifully drinkable. And immediately, that kind of feeling in your mouth, you want to replenish it almost immediately. And that's why German Pilsners are such a drinkable beer, because that you're just ready for the next sip almost immediately. Yeah, so the malt It's presenting as a kind of cracker biscuit, very, very, very slight amount of sweetness on it, almost like your cracker biscuit has a slight toasted edge to it that's presenting as slightly sweet, um, and then you're getting this kind of uh, a little bit floral, little bit grassy, but mainly spicy herbal hop notes. Beautiful level of bitterness, a higher level of bitterness, and just a really, really, really clean lager profile from the yeast. A really nice German Pilsner for sure. Can't find much to fault with this. Just a really great beer. And, just a solid drinker. I think it's one of those beers that, I don't know what they call them in Bamberg. Bambergerians. The people of Bamberg. Why am I struggling to say Bamberg? The people of Bamberg are probably quite proud of this beer, and I imagine that yeah, Schlenkerla is a nice beer, and they're proud of that tradition and history. But their daily drinker is most likely this, or breweries around there producing something just like this, of this quality, of this repeat drinkability. And that's exactly what this beer is. This is a repeat drinker. You will never get tired of this. In one day, or over months, or over years, you can't get tired of a beer like this. It is just a beer like this is exactly what you think about as beer. Like unless you're going for something novel or something really out there, or you're trying to go for like a hop bong, or something really modern, just a classic, crisp, thirst quenching repeat drinker. That's your Herren Pils, and it's expertly made by the Keesmann Bräu um, brewers. So yeah, man, glad I picked this up for sure. Well worth it. Another German beer that's going on the list of worth a try, worth a go on. And if I see it again, definitely picking it up. Um, has a really great smell, actually. Really, I mean, coming from the Munich Helles, I've been reviewing a lot of Munich Helles and a lot of Fest beers, and they are really more subtle and more honeyed and floral in character. And this one is more kind of there, like it's more of a yeah, man, it has something about it. It really does snap on the tongue. Yeah, really nice. It's warming up as well. Just unbelievably clean. Just unbelievably clean. There is absolutely no notes that you could say are that they haven't quite hit. It is really just um it's an automatic 4 out of 5, and then you're talking about like preferences or specialities or whatever, and this is just your really, really solid German Pilsner for sure. You know what? I quite like the label of this, and the whole kind of vibe of the brewery. It's sometimes your German breweries are they can be a little bit stuffy and a little bit kind of enclosed. Like for example, I love Augustina, but if you want to get some merchandise from them, there's no delivery, there's no web shop. They show you what you can get, but you have to go to Munich to get it, to get the t-shirt or whatever, and it feels a little bit stuffy. And then also, as like a home brewer, trying to research German brewing can be sometimes a bit hard because they don't talk so much. And I don't know what this brewery is like at all, but just the kind of the look and feel and the vibe of the branding feels a little bit more inviting. And I think from, visiting Germany perspective in terms of beers, I think Bamberg definitely is on my list. Munich, of course, but Bamberg has a rich, deep history of beers, not only because of the Schlenkerla, the smoked beers, but because of breweries like this. And I bet there's a bunch of them. And this is just like one of the most famous in Bamberg and that region. But I bet there's a bunch of them around there that have got, a couple of hundred or more years of brewing knowledge and expertise, and you're just going to to get basically a really, really solid and wonderful expression of German brewing there. So yeah, Bamberg definitely on the list, and this beer is should be on your list for sure as a beer to try. If you want to understand a little bit of the difference between a German Pilsner and a Czech Pilsner, yeah, there's a lot in terms of the malt, and like the Czech Pilsner is usually triple decocted. There's a lot more malt expression, can be darker malts, a bit more specialized malts coming into it. A German Pilsner is likely almost entirely just Pilsner malt, like German Pilsner malt. And that's why it's such a light color. And then also, they are aiming for a super dry finish with that really light color. So you're not getting any kind of complexity in terms of multiple malts or even from a sweetness. It is really like a gut punch, dry, snappy beer, and that's what they're really aiming for. And what separates, you know, an average or a bad German Pilsner to a good or an elite German Pilsner is finding that balance of, yes, it's a dry beer, and yes, it's high IBU, but can you get it to not be too bitter, too astringent, or too dry? Um, it is like a mouthfeel thing, a snap thing, where it's not supposed to be too violent, but it is supposed to be enough to give you a kind of uplift as you sip it. And the idea is that in almost in the same way of like a tangy sweet, you you immediately want another one. That's what the German Pilsner kind of style is about, is in the sense of, say, like a Czech Pilsner, where it's like a really nice, beautiful tasting, bready, almost like honeyed, carameled, complex malt flavor, that brings you back. And then it's paired with like a high bitterness, your Saaz hops and all of that going on. Um, a German Pilsner is about repeat drinkability from that snap and that zing that you get. It's like a Hellas, but it punches you in the gut, which is really great. I think really, really great. And this is a good example of that. You can literally see it at literally view the example. I'm tasting it and I'm trying to get more out of it, and I'm just repeatedly drinking it because it leaves your tongue wondering and figuring it out, because yeah, it's like it's spicy and herbal but not too much. You're trying to get that, it's snappy but it dissipates into like a that kind of bitterness that rolls over your tongue. So you're trying to scramble back to the snap. The malt is like super light. It's very, very, very light sweetness. It's like a cracker biscuit. So your mouth is trying to repeat and figure that out. And that's so I doubt no one's ever said this about a German Pilsner, but it leaves your brain wanting to figure out more about the beer, um, which is why you sip it again and again. you're replenishing it, and you're like, yeah. It's not like a beer that's like so in your face that when you drink it, you're like, yeah, that's pineapple tropical, or it's like whatever, like a port or whatever. Oh yeah, that's a vanilla bean in that. This is snappy and subtle at the same time, which is why your brain is like, wow, something's just hit the tongue, but we can't. We need to think to figure it out, which is that kind of delicate balance of a German Pilsner. It is a gut punch and a hug at the same time. It's like a Latino woman. German Pilsner, the Colombian women. German Pilsner, the Colombian wife of the beer world.